Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always ready to dive in.
All right, well today we're getting hyper-local, folks. We're talking all things duct cleaning. And not just anywhere. We're zeroing in on Tampa, Florida.
Nice. Love getting into the nitty-gritty.
Me too. I will admit, I sort of thought duct cleaning was one of those, optional things. Like, if you don't see dust bunnies hopping out of your vents, you're good,
You'd
right?
think, wouldn't you?
Exactly. But then I came across some notes from a duct cleaning company right here in Tampa. And, well, let's just say I had a bit of an awakening. Tampa, as we all know, has its own unique quirks.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, those quirks, they kind of make duct cleaning a whole different ballgame down here.
You know, it's funny, right? We spend so much time making sure our homes are clean, tidy, surfaces are spotless,
Right.
but we often forget about the air we're breathing inside.
And in a place like Tampa, that air, well, it can get pretty lively.
Lively is one way to put it.
The notes I was reading, they kept bringing up Tampa's humidity, which, come on, anyone who's spent 5 minutes here knows it's no joke. But I'm curious, how does that humidity actually mess with our air ducts? And more importantly, the air we're breathing?
You know, it's like, think of it this way. High humidity, warmth, it's basically paradise for mold, mildew, bacteria, you name it.
Oh, no.
They just love setting up shop in your ductwork, especially if it hasn't been cleaned in a while.
So basically, we're providing a cozy little home for these unwanted guests.
Pretty much.
Okay, not cool. Not cool at all. Now I'm picturing, microscopic mold spores just chilling in my AC, waiting to be blown into my living room. I think that's what air filters are for, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they supposed to catch all that nasty stuff?
They do their best, but they can't catch everything. Mold spores, especially, they can be super tiny. And we're not just talking about a little dust here.
Yeah.
There are certain types of mold, like aspergillus. That's pretty common in Florida, and it can actually trigger some serious respiratory issues. Asthma attacks, especially for folks who are already sensitive to that kind of thing.
Aspergillus. Okay, that doesn't sound good. I'm already starting to rethink my whole duct cleaning is optional stance. And doesn't Tampa also have, crazy pollen? Does that get in on the action too?
Oh, absolutely. Tampa's allergy season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And the variety of pollen, oak, pine, ragweed, you name it, we got it.
Wow.
All that pollen, it gets sucked into your HVAC system. That's your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, for anyone who doesn't speak acronym. And if your ducts are dirty, well, all that pollen, along with dust mites, which love the humidity too, by the way.
Of course they do.
It all gets trapped
Yeah.
and then recirculated right back into your house.
So every time my AC turns on, it's like setting off an allergy bomb.
Great. Pretty much. And then to add another layer of fun to the mix, we can't forget we're right on the coast.
Oh, right. The beautiful, sunny, salty, corrosive.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Salt air, moisture, it can really do a number on your ductwork over time. Makes it even more prone to, you guessed it, mold and mildew.
No way. So living near the beach, which sounds idyllic, actually makes things worse for our ducts.
Sadly, yeah.
So we've got the humidity, the pollen, the salt air, and on top of all that, just the normal, everyday dust, dirt, debris, maybe a few adventurous bugs who got lost.
All making themselves at home in your air ducts. And all that buildup, it blocks the airflow. Your HVAC system has to work harder, which uses more energy, which...
Needs higher energy bills. You're speaking my language now. Okay, so I'm getting this right. Ignoring our ducts in Tampa, it's not just gross, it's potentially hurting our wallets and our health.
You got it. And let's not forget, we're in Florida, it's hot. Our ACs are working overtime, which means all that gunk is building up even faster. Duct cleaning, it's not just a luxury here, it's essential maintenance.
You've officially convinced me. So how often are we talking? Once a year? Every few years? What's the magic number?
The general rule of thumb is every 3 to 5 years. But remember, Tampa's special.
Of course we are.
I'd say every 2 to 3 years is a good place to start. And if you've got allergies, asthma, or you're living that beach life, even more often, maybe even annually.
Gotcha. So besides the obvious, dust plume shooting from my vents, what are some signs that my ducts are begging for a cleaning?
Keep an eye out for things like your allergies acting up more when you're home, a musty smell hanging around your vents, or if you actually see dust, or even worse, mold around those vent covers. Any of those, it's time to call in the pros.
This has been enlightening, to say the least. I was totally clueless about all this.
It's easy to overlook, for sure, but taking care of your ducts, especially in Tampa, it's a big part of having a healthy, comfy home. And in the long run, it's an investment that pays off.
So, fellow Tampa Bay residents, if you haven't given your ducts much thought lately, Well, now's the time. When was the last time you had them cleaned? Seriously, think about it. If it's been more than 2 years, might be time for a checkup. And hey, if you're not even sure where to start, we've got links to some local duct cleaning companies in the show notes.
Don't let those air ducts become a problem. They're out of sight, but that doesn't mean they should be out of mind. A little attention goes a long way, and you'll be breathing easier for it. Literally.
And on that note, that wraps up our deep dive into the surprisingly fascinating world of Duct Cleaning Tampa edition. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.